The member from the 4th, Representative Schmidt.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yes, we heard this in committee twice, and I've actually spent quite a bit of time researching this and looking into it. I've worked with staff here, staff for the caucus, and even though teachers are not legally allowed to strike, they do strike. They do strike, and then what we have as an option to file an injunction to tell them to go back to work. But this bill, the language in this bill says that they will be paid benefits until a final judgment. I did run an amendment in committee trying to move that back so that it was an injunction, but it stands in this bill that it will be paid through final judgment, which is about a 3 or 4 year span. So this is very detrimental to our schools, and this will encourage teachers to stay out longer when they go on strike. We also know that teachers are paid 12 months a year for the 180 days of service that they provide the students. So they can be on strike for 60 days because they're paid monthly, every 30 days, even if they're not working. So they can be on strike for 60 days before they lose any money from being on strike. It's then after that 60 days. So we do know that teachers do strike. We have history of teachers striking, that they do go out for long periods of time. And this bill actually says we can't make them go back, and that we're going to pay them benefits until a final judgment is issued, which again is 3 or 4 years out. I'd vote yes on this amendment.
The member from the 4th, Representative Schmidt.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm going to ask for a no vote on this legislation. We've heard a lot of different situations this afternoon as we've debated this legislation, but a couple of things that I want to bring up. First of all, the legislation fundamentally shifts the negotiation. It shifts it to the employee. The employer is at a disadvantage when the employees strike. We've seen where businesses, where they've had employees go on strike, and this was before this legislation was in place. But we've seen big businesses in our state that employ thousands, tens of thousands of people, that in an 8-week period of time, they lost $9.7 billion. That's how much money they lost while their employees were out. So they're not waiting around or waiting the employees out to see if the employees will come back or not. They were at the negotiating table before the employees decided to strike. When employees decide to strike, it's supposed to be a hard decision for them. It's not supposed to be an easy decision. That's how the whole system, that's how the economy works. And if we tip that scale, we're going to lose businesses in this state. We are going to, in the next, I am going to be in discussions in the next week about tax packages. And how are we going to tax the employers in our state? Are we going to, is this chamber going to increase the B&O tax, double the B&O tax? And at the same time that we do that, we're going to pass legislation that is going to give the employee an advantage in a negotiation over pay. I would like to suggest that the reason that the employees are having such a difficult time paying their bills and why they need an increase in pay is because of the taxes that we as a chamber have put in place in the last few years that has caused them not to be able to pay their rent, their utility bills, cap and trade. Their utility bills, their natural gas bills have doubled in the last 5 years. We caused this inflation. We've caused this tax problem, and now you're coming and asking the employers of this state that are paying the B&O tax, that is one of the biggest funders to our...
Regrettably, your time expired.